Hello and welcome to the To Be Like Christ Bible Study podcast, where we explore and explain one chapter of the Bible at a time. My name is Luke, and I am thy host. And today's chapter is Genesis 36. Let's go ahead and read the chapter. I'm going to be reading from the English Standard Version, as always. And while I find it in my Bible, if you have a moment, hit the subscribe button on your podcast player so we can study together again sometime. Genesis 36 has 43 verses, and boy oh boy is it going to be a fun one to read. There are lots of difficult names in this chapter. These are the generations of Esau, that is, Edom. Esau took his wives from the Canaanites, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, the sister of Nebaioth. And Adah bore to Esau Eliphaz. Basemath bore Ruel. And Oholibamah bore Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the members of his household, his livestock, all his beasts, and all his property that he had acquired in the land of Canaan. He went into a land away from his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to dwell together. The land of their sojournings could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. These are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah was a concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son. She bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These are the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Reuel: Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. She bore to Esau Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, the chiefs: Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These are the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Adah. These are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, the chiefs: Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the chiefs of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife, the chiefs: Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs born of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, that is, Edom, and these are their chiefs. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, the inhabitants of the land: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Horai and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. These are the sons of Shobal: Alvan, Menahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. These are the sons of Zibeon: Aiah and Anah. He is the Anah who found the hot springs in the wilderness as he pastured the donkeys of Zibeon his father. These are the children of Anah: Dishon and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah. These are the sons of Dishon: Himdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Cheran. These are the sons of Ezer: Bilhan, Zavan, and Akan. These are the sons of Ezer: Bilhan, Zavan, and Akan. These are the sons of Dishan: Uz and Aran. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the chiefs: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, chief by chief in the land of Seir. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the Israelites. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, the name of his city being Dinhaba. Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his place. Jobab died, and Husham of the land of the Timonites reigned in his place. Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, reigned in his place, the name of his city being Avith. Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place. Samlah died, and Shaul of Rehoboth on the Euphrates reigned in his place. Shaul died, and Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, reigned in his place. Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his place, the name of his city being Pau. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahab. These are the names of the chiefs of Esau according to their clans and their dwelling places. By their names, the chiefs Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Aholibama, Ella, Pinon, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These are the chiefs of Edom, that is Esau, the father of Edom, according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Oh boy, that is the text of Genesis chapter 36. I will let you know there was some significant editing going on in there. You'll hear the mostly smooth version, although it's still hard, even after you review it several times, to get the names right as you're reading it in real time. And so it's still a little bit of stumbling even in my edited version, but that's the best I've got for you as far as the pronunciation of all of this in Genesis 36. Some names here that I don't think appear anywhere else in the Bible. This chapter is about the descendants of Esau and the chiefs that come from his household, and talking about some of the rulers on the earth during that period of time. I think today's study will probably be a bit shorter than usual because it's really just, you can see the contents of the chapter, not a whole lot of interpreting to go on. We will point out a few things, significant things in these genealogies and in these records, but let's just go ahead today and go to our PDF outline that has all of our information on it. Once again, we use one of these every day to do our study, and you can download them for free at tobelikechrist.com, or you can also buy a book on Amazon that has all 50 chapters for the book of Genesis already there for you. So if you'd like to take advantage of any of those options, there are links down in the description of the podcast or the video if you're listening on YouTube. Our first section today is a little bit challenging, and that's our timeline section. When did these people live? Well, we can't say exactly for all of them because for a lot of them, we just have their name and we don't have any other details about their life anywhere in the Bible. We can kind of lock down a date for the birth of Esau, though, who kind of gets all of this started. So as we mentioned, chapter 36 is a genealogical record of Esau's family. Esau was born in approximately 1836 BC. So that's 1836 years roughly before Jesus is born. Details about the lifespan of his children and his grandchildren aren't recorded. So we don't know how long they lived. It's not like some of those chapters in early Genesis where we have the age that they were when they bore their sons and then the age that they were when they died. We just have names here. So we can date Esau to 1836 BC. And our main characters are also going to vary a bit for this chapter. So our first main character is Esau, who is also Edom, and the land of Edom is named after him and his descendants. He's the twin brother of Jacob, the older brother, and he's the father of the Edomite nation. We have Esau's immediate family. So this chapter records the names of Esau's 3 wives, 5 sons, and some of his grandchildren, but not all of his grandchildren are mentioned. And then we also have a group of people who are highlighted here, the kings of Seir. This is a list of the rulers of Seir that they're recorded towards the end of chapter 36. So those are kind of our main characters in a quick summary form. Let's go ahead down to our third section, talk about where these events played out and where Esau's descendants lived. His descendants lived to the south of the Dead Sea. So we had to expand our map out a little bit more today, go to our expanded map so we could see what's below the Dead Sea. And I've listed the land of Seir there, the general area of the land of Seir, which is south of Canaan, so south of the Promised Land. We are told that Jacob and his descendants are going to inherit the land of Canaan. So that's going to be him, and his brother moves to the south into this area of Seir or Edom. It's interesting, we are told in the chapter that Jacob and Esau separate because they have too many possessions to live in the same area. Their flocks are so large that the grazing area that's required is just massive, and so they have to separate so that they can take care of their respective flocks, which tells you a little bit about how rich these men must have been. I mean, to take up all of that area and to have nowhere for your flocks to graze, the whole land of Canaan, just a colossal amount of space. Must have been seriously wealthy. And of course, that came at God's blessing. So that takes us now to our outline section, and as I mentioned, I think this is going to be pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of interpretive work to do here. I have listed some of the names again, and so I'll give them another try as we go through our outline. I've got this broken down into 6 sections. The first one is verses 1 through 5, titled The Wives and Sons of Esau. So Esau, who's also known as Edom, had 3 wives who bore him sons, Adah the Hittite, Aholibamah the Hivite, and Basemath the daughter of Ishmael. Esau also married a woman named Judith, according to chapter 26, verse 34, but she's not named in this chapter. We don't exactly know why. Maybe she didn't bear any children for Esau. Esau had 5 sons that are named here: Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Jolam, and Korah. And in addition to these sons, Esau also had several daughters, according to verse 6. Our section number 2, I kind of already touched on this. I jumped the gun a little bit, I guess, but Esau moves to Seir, verses 6 through 8. Jacob and Esau owned so much livestock that the land couldn't support them all, and so they had to separate. They had to live apart. So Esau takes his family and his herds, and he moves to the hill country of Seir, down south of the Dead Sea. Okay, so that takes us then to section number 3, which is titled The Edomites, verses 9 through 19. Esau's descendants grew into the nation of Edom. So we're going to see Jacob's descendants growing into the nation of Israel. Esau's descendants grow into the nation of Edom. And there will be some relationship between the Edomites and the Israelites in the future. So keep this in mind, that the Edomites are actually relatives of the Israelites. And so you would think that if they interact in the future, they would remember this relationship that they have together. We'll see if that happens, but they'll come up a little bit later on. The Edomites are mentioned over 100 times in the Bible, so quite significant. Esau's son Eliphaz had 6 sons of his own: Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kenaz, and Amalek. And Esau's son Reuel had 4 sons of his own: Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. At least those are the sons that are mentioned here. They may have had more. This brings us to verse 20, and verses 20 through 30 are our 4th section, the descendants of Seir, the Horite. The Horites, this group of people, this tribe of people, lived in the land of Seir before Esau's descendants got there. We learn this actually from a future book, a book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 12. Seir had 7 sons who were chiefs among the Horites. Their names were Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. Verses 22 through 28 of this chapter list the sons of each of those chiefs. So I won't go over all of those names again. I'm not sure how much benefit there really is to listing them all out here in our outline, but just know that this section is about the Horites and the chiefs among them. Okay, section number 5, verses 31 through 39, the kings of Edom. We're told in verse 31 that, quote, "These are the kings who reigned in Edom before any king reigned over the Israelites." Now, how much time should I spend discussing this? The Israelites are going to get a king around, say, 1100 BC. About, what was our date for Esau's birth? 1836 BC. So let's just say 700 years after Esau is born, when Jacob's descendants become this great nation, they're going to move into the land of Canaan, and they're going to get a king. They're going to ask God for a king. That happens roughly around 1100 BC, so 700 years after Esau is born. So what we have here is a list of kings, some of the kings who reigned before that happened in the nation of Israel, before 1100 BC, roughly. And the names of the kings are given in a successive order: Bela, Jobab, Husham, Hadad, Samlah, Shaul, Baal-Hanan, and Hadar. All right, so that now takes us to verses 40 through 43, and we're going to close down the chapter right here, and I've actually just quoted the text in this section. Quote, "These are the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans and their dwelling places by their names. The chiefs Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholibamah, Ela, Pinon, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These are the chiefs of Edom. So that brings us to the end of chapter 36, and this is a significant chapter in that we see Esau growing into a great nation, and Edom is going to come from his line, and that's significant. There's some other names that have significance in this chapter that relate to the future Bible story, but I will say this, if you read this and you're like, whoa, like I don't have a grasp on where all of these people fit into the story that we've read and why these people are important moving forward or how they fit into the story moving forward. If that's your experience after reading this, which truthfully it's kind of mine, I would just encourage you, like, don't worry if you don't have all of these puzzle pieces put together. I don't want to downplay the significance of this chapter, but in terms of our overall comprehension of the story moving forward, this one's not going to make or break you. I'd say if you're going to take one fact away from this chapter, keep in mind that Esau becomes the Edomites and his children become the Edomites. I think that's probably the highlight of this chapter. So keep that in mind. And again, if you don't have full comprehension and full understanding, I think you're going to be all right going forward, because we're not so much going to be talking about Esau's family. Remember, we're going to be talking about Jacob's family, his 12 sons, and what happens to them. So this is kind of the quick summary of the future of Esau. But now we're returning to Jacob's story, and we're going to be taking that at a slower pace. It's going to be a little bit easier to understand. So I don't know if I have too much else to say on chapter 36. Why don't we just go ahead and finish up with our application? It only takes a generation to steer an entire family away from God. Jacob retained a relationship with the true God, the God of his father Isaac and his grandfather Abraham. But Esau, he changed things up. He married Canaanite women, Hittite women, Hivite women, and directed his family in a completely different direction than Jacob did. What we're going to find out, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but many of Esau's descendants in the future would become the enemies of God and the enemies of Jacob's family, the Israelites. They picked the wrong side to be on. Instead of being on God's side and honoring him, they were fighting against him. And a lot of that has to do with this first step away from God that Esau takes. Esau is not spoken of very highly in the Bible by the Bible writers. You can take a look at verses like Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, which I believe we've looked at in a previous study. He's looked at as a man who, he's not a godly man. He's not a man who has the virtues that God wants his people to have. When we think about this and we think about, well, what application does this have for my life? You have a decision to make. Will you serve the true God and teach your family to do the same, or will you turn away from him and potentially influence generation after generation of people who are coming after you to pursue the same unwise path? It just takes one generation to steer an entire family away from God. Don't let that be you. So I think that's going to bring our study of Genesis 36 to a close. I will let you know that in the next chapter, we're going to have a significant shift in the story. Now, technically, we're still following Jacob's story, but it's going to begin to focus on his children. And it's going to begin to focus on especially one of his children, whose name is Joseph. If you know the story of Joseph, it's an incredible story. It's, I would say, maybe much more captivating than chapter 36. But it's a very well-known Bible story, and it's a beautiful picture of how God works through his people to work out his will and his desire and his plan for the world. So we're going to pick up in chapter 37, talking about Joseph and his relationship to his father and to his brothers, some dreams that he has, and some betrayal in the family, some more family strife stirring up in chapter 37 that's going to change the trajectory of Jacob's family forever moving forward, and they're never going to be the same because of what happens in 37. So make sure to be back next time, and that's what we'll talk about. Until then, have a fantastic day.